Hi guys, so welcome to the second part of why do we visualize data. Now the second reason is to make complex data understandable. For every data scientist, right, you would want a situation where you can explain or show complex patterns in data. Now you would almost always be speaking to non-technical audience because you're typically trying to solve a problem, but you have to show why this problem acts in a specific kind of way. So one of the reasons why we would visualize data is to make complex data understandable. Now, we have an intuition. Say you're analyzing customer preferences over different products. So here let's look at customer preferences over different products. Now this is a common situation when you look at e-commerce, when you look at users on the internet or users on a social media platform, maybe looking at different products and they're trying to buy stuff, right? So you're typically trying to understand, what's how do you analyze user preferences, right? It could be overwhelming if you're just looking at the numbers, right? So to do that, it's ideal to again visualize the data. So here I'm going to create again two lists. So here I call this list product, right? And inside I'm just going to again just put some arbitrary type stuff here. I'm going to use letters to represent them. So we're going to have A, we'll have B, C, and we're going to have this till E. So we have this. So let's assume these are products, right? Then we are now going to look at preferences. We're going to call this preferences. Now let's the assumption be that we're looking at preferences in terms of numbers. Maybe numerical representation for preferences mean maybe how much they jumped on each product, right? How much people went for one product A over product B. So that's the intuition behind this. So again, I create a list, and here I have 45. Again, arbitrary numbers. If you're doing a walkthrough at this time with me, you could just use any type of numbers you want, right? So here 15, 10, and 5. Now for real data, it is almost always a different kettle of fish. But whenever we do like examples like this, we try to start small so you could, so as the seed generates, you start to understand as it grows larger, you get to understand what that means. So we have two situations here. So now we're going to plot what we're going to use, and what we're going to do, we're going to use PLT again, and we're going to use PLT.bar, and again, just to show you what that does, it makes a bar plot. Then I'm going to have products. Of course, you see what this is, and this is going to be my products. Then of course we're going to also have our preferences. Then again, we have to put a title to it, because again, it makes a lot of sense to put a title to it. Now, whenever you see something like this come up, right, it's because I use the shift and tab. So when I use the shift and tab, when I use that, I can use the tab for completion, but the shift and tab just shows me the documentation. So I want to put a title, so I'm going to call this customer preferences. Next, I'm going to I would like to label my x-axis, and so the x-axis is going to be products, and again for the y-axis is going to be preferences. Maybe in the other video when I started with the first question, I used dollars for sales, so maybe here I'm just going to use percentage. Yes, percentage, and yeah, just for an indication. And then we plt.show just to show what we have created, and then you see it's over here. So now you can see typically we have our preferences on the y-axis, our products on the x-axis, and then we see customer preferences in percentage. And so yeah, so this is what we do. So now if in a situation where our data is complex or it's so much and we have a lot of unknowns, we typically will clean up the data and then try to visualize what's going on because we're working towards modeling our data, right? But at this point, we want to understand certain features in our data or certain aspects of our data. So that's why we answer this question. Why do we visualize data? And the second reason, amongst many reasons, is to make complex data understandable.